you. I know when you retire from this sport, you want to leave it behind in a way that, we think you as one of the greatest of all time. Does getting a second win over Rumble get you any closer to that, or is it ultimately always going to come down to that John Jones rivalry?
I think beating Rumble again, it'll help, but ultimately it will come down to my rivalry with Jones. Anthony has done a tremendous job as he's come up in weight classes, but we're talking about a rivalry with a guy that many consider the greatest fighter of all time. So wins over a guy like John Jones is what's going to really, probably be the one thing that solidifies where I'm trying to sit whenever I retire from the sport. At the end of the day, I do have a tough challenge on my hands next week. Beating Anthony again, it'll just be a closing the chapter, people really do believe in him, and they really do love the knockout, so he gets a reputation for being, the scariest guy. So beating someone like that twice really should cement who I am and everything else I've done, but ultimately I think it will depend on the rivalry with Jones.
My last question, DC. You've done so much in your career fighting at heavyweight, beating everybody that you've ever faced with the exception of John Jones. But going into this fight, I think the odds have it pretty much dead even. The last I checked, a lot of people believe, the Rumble with the knockout power that he is, the guy who could beat you. Why don't you get the respect that you deserve, considering you do have a win over him, and outside of the Jones fight, you've been undefeated your entire career?
I don't know. But as I've said time and time again, I cannot dictate people's feelings. The fact that, the odds say that we're even, I actually have no idea how anyone could think that we're even. He had a moment. He had a moment in the first fight. Outside of that moment, I pretty much just beat him up. So I don't understand, what would make anyone believe that Anthony and I are close. But next Saturday, I just get to show him again and just beat on him again like I did last time.
Thanks, DC.
And once again, if you'd like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. We'll take our next question from Kendrick Johnson with Ring TV.
The winner of your fight with Jones. Do you have any thoughts on that timeline? Maybe start with Daniel.
I don't know. The focus is really on Anthony, man. I can't really worry about what's next, because even though I believe that the path to victory or in my favor, his one way of winning is very dangerous. He could actually knock me out in no time. That's a big possibility. So I'm just worried about Anthony. Man, I can't waste my energy anymore on a guy that hasn't been around and that truly cannot be trusted to be eligible to fight. It's hard to really do that.
And Anthony?
Yeah, Johnny hasn't crossed my mind at all, or what's after this fight. I'm focused on Daniel, and that's all I need to focus on right now. So I'll think about whoever and whatever, April 9th, maybe April 10th.
Okay. And one quick question, if I could. You mentioned that you don't want to be the guy that's bad-mouthed on message boards, but I guess my question is, do you still read message boards?
Who, me?
Yeah, you, Anthony.
Sometimes, people will, some friends of mine or whatever will, send me a link, and I'll just happen to read it if I'm not doing anything. So from time to time, I'll, catch stuff here and there.
Why does it help you, or is it a part of staying grounded? Does it do something else?
No, sometimes it's fun to read the stupid shit people say. So that's it.
Gotcha. Thanks very much.
And once again, if you'd like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. We'll take our next question from Akhilesh Ganavarapu. Please go ahead.
Hey guys, greetings from India. My first couple of questions go to DC. DC, firstly, I wanted to ask you something which is puzzling. In wrestling terms, you're the heel, quote unquote, even against Rumble. So even a little while ago, you kind of taunted Rumble. Is it safe to say that you've embraced the heel in you?
No, man, I'm not taunting him. I don't know, like, my issue is if it makes me a bad guy because I tell the truth or the truth as I believe it, then I guess that's what I am. I believe everything. I'm not lying. I don't lie about anything. All I do is state the truth. If people don't like the truth, then that's on them. I'm not sitting here making stuff up. I'm not over here pretending. I'm over here stating facts. And if me telling the facts makes me the bad guy, then okay.
Yeah, because even before, during the press conference with John Jones, you're kind of annoyed because of the people booing you. So, has it been easy for you to come to terms with that?
I mean, it is what it is. If people are going to boo, they're going to boo. It doesn't really matter to me. I know who I am. My friends know who I am, and the people that matter know who I am. So, if people boo me, they boo me. I don't know. I don't know why they do it, but they made decisions as to who they want to back, and everybody is entitled to their own opinion and their right to cheer and root for whoever they want to root for. At the end of the day, when I win my fight and I keep the belt, I bring the belt home to the people that matter. The fans that support me, they share in those moments with me. The ones that don't, they boo me in the moment, then they go about their business, and they can boo me next time they see me, or they can mess around on my social media, but that stuff doesn't matter. The people that matter are the ones that support me and the people that are closest to me.
All right, fair enough. Now, Rumble has improved a lot since your last fight with him, almost making a statement against Bader by, showing excellent takedown defense, taking the fight to the ground, not being hesitant, with going to the ground. So what are your thoughts on Rumble being a different fighter than when you last fought him?
Man, Ryan Bader shot from halfway across the octagon. They said fight, and before Ryan Bader could even meet Anthony in the middle of the octagon, he shot. What people are missing is that Anthony Johnson was never a bad wrestler. He always could wrestle and defend takedowns. Anthony's a junior college national champion in wrestling. He's not a bad wrestler. Nobody ever thought he was a bad wrestler. It's not. I never said he can't wrestle. He can. He obviously can defend takedowns. He defended a lot of my takedowns. I never questioned that. And then when we talk about him being a completely different fighter, I don't necessarily know what you guys are basing this on. He beat Jimmy Manoa. He took him down, but of course he's going to take Jimmy Manoa down. He's a wrestler. Jimmy Manoa can't wrestle. Then you're talking about him and Ryan Bader. If I would have shot it on Anthony from across the octagon, he would have did the same thing to me. He's fought for a total of 7 minutes since him and I fought, but he's this completely different fighter. I have no idea where you guys are getting this from.
And for Daniel, I know you're training for a big title fight, but will you still have time to watch WrestleMania this weekend?
I was actually talking to Selena yesterday, and I go, shit. She goes, what? I said, man, when we're traveling to Buffalo, WrestleMania is going to be on. Is there any way for me to stream WrestleMania from the plane? But she said the Wi-Fi would be too slow, so I'm going to have to miss it. But I'm going to have to put my phone on airplane mode and leave it there until I get to Buffalo on Sunday night. And then once I get there, I think I'm going to watch WrestleMania. So it's going to be a long night for me on Sunday, but I'm not missing it. If you want my picks, if you want my picks, I got Reigns, I got Lesnar, and I got Bray Wyatt in the top 3 fights.
And do you see your hand getting raised without getting a knockout? Can you see your hand still getting raised?
Excuse me?
Hello? And how's that?
He doesn't. Hey, what's your name? Kendrick? Is your name Kendrick?
Yeah, Kendrick.
Kendrick, he does not believe that if he doesn't knock me out, he's going to get his hand raised. That's why he didn't answer your question. Anthony's a smart guy. He won't lie to you. He's honest and he's smart.
Actually,
he has no doubt in his mind that if he doesn't knock me out, he's going to win. So Kendrick, don't waste your breath and your time. He knows. He knows his only path to victory.
Well, my question, I pose my question to you: is there a way can you win without having to grind it out, or are you just going to do the same thing as fight one, grind it out and just do your thing?
I can make it easy and do that to him, or I can just beat him up on the feet. I can do whatever I want, Kendrick. That's the difference between him and I. He's got one way to win the fight. I can win any way I choose to.
Gotcha. So would you stand and get in a knockout drag out like you did with Alexander, or are you just going to keep it safe?
If I need to, I will. If Anthony makes me, then I will. It really does depend on how I decide to fight this fight, Kendrick.
Yeah. And what's his confidence come from? Just for the fact that you already beat him, or just something that you added to your repertoire that we haven't seen before?
I mean, I've been training him, and I've gotten better. I feel like I'm a better fighter today than I was the first time. You know, the first time we fought, I fought him on 3.5 weeks' notice. I had a 3-week training camp. I had a 3-week training camp and still outworked him. I mean, I know I was a different opponent than his previous guy, but he still had a full training camp. I had 3.5 weeks to get prepared for a championship fight and still found a way to outwork him. What's going to happen now that I've been training for him for 12 weeks? It's going to be worse than the first one.
What's your take to critics, DC, that said that you lost a step since the surgery?
I have no idea what people are talking about. I fought Anderson Silva on 2 days' notice, and I beat a guy that people consider the greatest fighter of all time, 30-26 across the board. There was no danger in that fight. That was the easiest fight of my entire career. I don't know how I lost the step. If anything, I showed I can still take takedowns whenever I choose to.